Hello, it's Karen from Vintage Style Journals here again. Just wanted to begin with part 2 of my journal. The last video I made was a journal created out of paper bags, which are the shopping paper bags, and this was the one that I showed you initially, and I haven't moved any further with this one because I'm going to leave that for a special purpose. But I did actually make another one, very much the same, but instead of using the seam binding, I've used that other tape that I showed you in my previous video. And I've actually placed a little bit, might be able to see some crackle paste on here. This is the one that I use. I find this really excellent. That's just a Montmartre. It's quite a cheap type of medium if you're into doing different surfaces. It usually works very well for me. I haven't had any problems at all with it. But what I'm going to do, because I'm going to decorate this is going to be my front page. I want it to look a little bit interesting. I mentioned earlier in the other video too that this is probably going to be an art journal, which I'm kind of sticking to at the moment. I may change my mind. I may use it for something else because, you know, I can do that. But what I wanted to just show you is the crackle I put down earlier is started to crack, and I think it will crack a little bit more. But before I paint on that to enhance the cracks, I just want to use the Atelier matte varnish for this one. It's made by Chroma Australia, so they make the same product as all the Jossonia paints. And I'm just going to actually put a bit of, if it comes out, just a bit down on my palette there. This wet palette I've had here for, I don't know, a few weeks now. So there's not a lot of change in that. Some of the paints have dried out a little bit where they've been more spread out, but generally speaking, it's lasted for a few weeks since I made the original palette. So what I'm going to do, just going to paint over where I've done the crackle varnish, or it's crackle paste rather. I'm just going to seal that with the varnish. And the reason I'm doing this is because when I start to put paint on the actual surface of the paper here, I don't want just the crackle paste to pick up on the I want to be able to wipe off excessive crackle paste, or excessive colour rather, and I don't, because I've only put the crackle paste on certain parts of the paper, I don't want the other parts sucking up the paint colour that I'm going to put on there. I'm just going to make sure I get it a little bit crossed over here, because I'll show you how I'm going to decorate the rest in a minute, but I'm not going to varnish the whole section, just where I want to perhaps put some colour. Okay, so that's that, and that'll be dry in a minute. It won't take very long to dry. The varnish is pretty quick to dry. It's a matte, so hopefully it's not going to be too shiny. If I've actually shaken my bottle well enough, it shouldn't be shiny at all. But while that's drying, I just want to have a little play around with what I'm going to put on the front otherwise. And what I think I will do is I've got this gorgeous material. I don't know what kind of material it is, but I love this colour. It's like a dusty, salmony, pinky, browny tone. How's that for a new colour shade? But I'm actually going to use this on the front of the journal. So I've cut a piece that will just fit down here, just to cover this section here. And you can see where I've used that tape. I've just taped it as I showed you earlier on today. Just that's the back of it, and that's the front with the knot. I haven't made any changes to the style of doing that, but I just want to, I'm going to probably put this down here, basically because I love this material, but also I'm trying to decorate it in quick time so that I can get really started on the inside of the journal. Some people might like to leave the front until the last, but I'm just going to let the front dictate what goes in the middle of the journal. So I'm going to glue this down. I bought some dirt cheap craft glue, and you can glue it down with just a normal paste glue stick, or with another. I haven't had much success with glue sticks, I'm afraid. Not that I don't like them, I just don't have a lot of success with them. I find things lift up more easily. So I'm going to glue this partially, but I'm going to wait until this is dry so I can do this, but I'm just in the design mode at the moment. So this is just a clear drying craft glue. And the reason why I said it's dirt cheap is I've been trying different glues, and the really expensive ones are not a lot better than the cheap ones, to be very honest. They all have the same effect. They all dry clear, and some of them are just, 3 times the price of what you can get just as good a quality glue for a third of the price, really. So I've opted just to give it a try, and I've found it quite good so far. So hopefully that'll be useful information for you. But what I'm going to do here is I'm thinking I'm going to put a buckle on the front. Obviously you'll have your own taste in how you decorate, and I try to source all kinds of buckles. This is pretty much a plastic one that I found, believe it or not, in a vintage shop. You find an old plastic buckle. So I'm going to put that down on the front, and because I like it up this way instead of this way, I think I'm just going to leave it that way, which will lend itself to some decorative options when I get to it. But remember when I told you don't put anything in the middle, because if you're going to be opening up this flat, you don't want anything hindering that. So I'm limiting myself here in being just able to put that on that side, but I kind of like the look of it. I'm going to try and get it as close to the middle as I can. So I think I'm going to put that one there, and not just going to put it on its own. I've got a couple of bits of little vintage type materials here, and this one is just beautiful. I'm going to pop that in through, I'll work it out in a minute, but I'll pop it in through somehow, maybe just like that. Actually, what I might do first, because this is actually going to be down this way, I want to leave that, I want to have that underneath. So I'm just going to put that through first, pull it through so that at least it's in there. Just a little bit crazy design at the moment. Right, that'll sit there. And this little piece can go in through here somehow. Don't want it too neat or anything, because I like a vintage and shabby type look, so I don't want it completely perfect. Might just pull it up a bit and sort of double it over a bit, just so I can get some of that frayed edge, just to add any interest to the way it's going in. Maybe a little bit more down there. Maybe bunched up a little bit. Okay, that'll do for now. I've also got this material. I've got a whole pile of this, so I've just cut a strip here. And actually, what I'll do is I'll put that one in first, get all these threads out of the way. So have it up the right way. I think it's that way. So I'll just pop this bit in through first over top of the thread there. Notice how neatly I'm doing it. Just sort of stuffing it in. What I want to do is cover up this behind here, so I'm going to put a couple of different bits of material through, and this other one, I'll just double it over slightly just so that I've got that section up a little bit. I may change this any moment, just see what it looks like. And see, I'm taking great pains to make it look really cool. Not. Maybe pull that one out a little bit. Okay, so I'm kind of liking that colour combo, even though it's not the same. I think it'll work. Maybe pull that through a little bit more. Okay, so that's just part of what I want to have it look like on the top there. I've also got this lovely little rose here that's going to be a big part of the colour combo when I put the colour in the crackle. The white, you could still keep it as white, but you wouldn't see the cracks very much. But I'm just, yeah, I'm thinking that I'm going to put that there and on top of that. I think that's looking all right there. And these are all going to stay put because I'm going to glue that down in a minute. I'm just sort of mucking around with it. But see how this gorgeous little rose. It's an iron-on. You can iron it on, or you can stitch it on, or glue it on straight down. It picks up the colour in this beautiful material here. So it's just really a perfect match, I think. So I think that needs to be there, regardless of what I do here. I think that's going to work beautifully there. And this is going to pretty much be the front of my journal. Once I get this painted in, I'm just waiting on that varnish to dry, just so that I can put the colour over top and wipe off any excess without the background paper that's been gessoed soaking up any of the paint. So yeah, I'm kind of liking that look. It's not everyone's cup of tea, obviously, but what I want to do is I want to leave that there so that it does cover up some of the knot there, and you get a little hint of the fabric. It is an actual fabric tape. It's really quite lovely. I think it's a nylon-y, very sturdy. It's not stretchy or anything, so it just really will work beautifully with this. So right, let's see if I don't make a mess of it with the paint. We're kind of almost sort of dry, so I'm going to rock on with it and just move that out of the way for now so I don't damage it. I'm likely to paint over it. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a watery colour using quite a wide brush, just so that I can get it done quickly. I'm going to, I've got purple madder on the brush. You're going to see it in a minute. And it's very, very light, watery sort of blend there. Maybe a bit more. It's looking a bit pinkish. I don't want pink. I want that sort of a red with a bit of a brownish overtone. So I'm just going to try and pick up some of the colour and see. That's probably a bit bright. No, I'm going to go with it a little bit darker. So I'll grab more paint. There we go. Let's see what I'm doing here. I'm working reasonably quickly. And then I'm just going to try and wipe that off with a bit of paper towel. I might need a baby wipe. Oh, it still looked a bit pink. Oh, it's all right, we can go over it. I'm going to get a baby wipe just to get that excess paint off there before it dries. Baby wipes are great for that. Just because I've put down the layer of the varnish, or you can use the sealer, anything that's going to stop the paint from soaking in to the background, so you can wipe all of that excess off, as I'm doing here with the baby wipe. The paper towel picks up a good lot of it, but usually you'd have to wet the paper towel a bit. See how I can just easily wipe it off because I've actually put that layer of varnish down. It sort of protects it from looking patchy and ugly, but I do want that darker, so I'm just going to have to use less water on my brush, I think, and try and get that a little bit darker. I'm gonna, oh, that's nice. Notice I didn't do it everywhere, but I think I will have to do some down here, even though I can't see any cracks. I don't want it uniform necessarily, but I'm going to put another colour over it in a minute. So it's picking up the roughness of the gesso as well, which is pretty cool. I like that. Okay, back with the baby wipe. Get some more of that colour off. Don't want it to be pink. I want it to be an interesting tone, but yeah, not a lolly pink or anything. Now I'm going to put some green in there, and I'm really basically picking up on the colours of the that beautiful little rose that I showed you a minute ago. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to go in and iron it down in a minute. I'll just see what it all looks like. So I'm picking up some olive green on my brush, and I'm just touching here and there just to get it in the cracks. It seems a bit random, and it probably is, but yeah, it'll look okay once I'm finished, I'm sure. If it's not, the beauty of paint is you can just paint over it. And that I didn't use much watered down colour there. Oh, just need to get another bit of paper towel. A whole roll of this stuff in here because, gee, I go through it. Particularly with my painting. I'm going to wet it a little bit just so that I can remove the excess of that green so that it's not bright green in the background there. Okay, just wet it a little bit more, take a bit more off. There we go. The varnish is really working for me today. Just, you know, protecting that background. So I'm dabbing because I don't want to remove all of the green. I just want to remove some of it just so that I've got some interest remaining there. Okay, now the next step would be just to start decorating. I'm going to glue this down. I might even need to go over that because I'm not sure that I'm liking that pink. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a bit of the green with the pink and get a brownie tone. Just take some of the extra green off my brush. I'll grab some of that red and come back over here. Oh, that's good. See how you've got a really, really bad brown red there, which is nice, better than pink. Don't want pink because I want it to work in with this colour here. And pink's not going to do that for me, I don't think. So see, isn't it gorgeous being able to just muck around with it, do it until you're ready to say, yes, that's it, that's the colour. Doesn't all have to be perfect. Right, so okay, baby white, come to the rescue. I don't know, did it make a difference? Oh, it looks like it did. It sort of toned it down a little bit. Made it less pink and more dark, rosy sort of colour. All right, I think I'll just maybe have a look at it once I'm all done and see what I think then. Okay, so I'm trying to glue this down. The only thing about this type of fabric is when you're gluing it down, you can often get the glue look. It looks like a bit of a wet look, but I think a lot of that's going to be covered over by the gear that I'm putting on top here. So I'm just going to go and put a line of glue. Don't get it all over me. Just put a line of glue up the top here. Down the side. Down the bottom. I'm not going to go in the middle because I'm going to put the buckle in there. I'm not overdoing the glue. It's just enough to get the job done, really. So just putting this piece of fabric here. And I love the curled up edge there. I think that's really gorgeous. Oh, getting all caught up with the glue. And just make sure it's sitting down nicely. And we're not aiming for perfection, we're just aiming for something that looks pretty cool. Ultimately, if I don't like it, I'll just yank it up and start again. Or put something else over it, who knows. I'm still not sure about this tone of red with this, but we'll wait and see. I can always just do it after. But the paper has swallowed it up quite nicely because of the varnish on the top of it. Alrighty, so that's getting back to, I didn't glue the centre here, just around the edges, okay? So just enough to place your fabric on. I don't typically glue all over if I'm putting something on top. So just pop this over here again and have a look at it. And just checking that that's not going to be hindered. I don't like that out so far, so I'll pop it back in. Maybe put two. Okay, so let's have a look at my beautiful little flower and see. I don't know. I think that looks all right. It's just a start. I'll just move my palette out of the way, my wet towels. Okay, I think I like that. So what I'll do is I'll start to glue my bits down. I'll take that one off for now. All right, so we're going to have to start with the back of this first, and just, you know, you could probably put it down with sticky dots. I think they're just as good. I might even use those. I bought some the other day. You can get them in Kmart now, and they come in a packet like this, and they're glue dots, and they come in nice, neat little squares, and they're dirt cheap. I've been looking around for a while for some glue dots, and I found that, well, my daughter actually pointed them out to me because I've been looking for a little while, but I find them really expensive. And there's 60 pieces in this, and I think I paid maybe $1.80 or $2 something. It wasn't very dear. Let's see if the price is on it. No, it's not. But they come wrapped up nice and neat like this. And I find them really quite sticky. So nice little neat squares you can just pull off. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to just use the glue dots in case I change my mind. And then I can put something else on. I can pull these up quite easily. I've used these recently with one of the journals that I've got on my Etsy shop because I'll just put that one there. Pull up the paper and it's stuck there. And just stick that over there. And I'm going to put another one on top just because I put that material there. What was I saying? Yeah, I put a couple of flowers on a journal that I made just recently. I'll show you. I'll grab it. So this one here. So instead of gluing them down, I've used sticky dots to place them and put them down in case whoever purchases this journal might want to take the flowers off and the tassel, and they've all been stuck down with the sticky dots. They're there and they're sturdy but easily removed. So I think we'll go with the sticky dot option for now. See what I come up with otherwise, but I think I'm happy with that idea. So I'll just get some more. I'll tear off a few. The other sticky dots come in a roll, obviously, you can get them like that, but I find them really expensive. Spotlight sell them, and I find them quite expensive when I, go to buy the sticky dots. They might come in a roll of 100 or so, but, sometimes they're about $11 a box, and I find that a little bit off. Oh, shouldn't have done that. I've stuck myself down here. Oh dear. All right, so I just take that off. Get it off there. Go away. All right. Probably should just use one at a time, huh? So, well, these things you learn. I'm going to just pop that other one down here on top of that one so that can be stuck down. Okay, so that's that one. I've got one there. Probably need one here. Getting all stuck up here. I don't know why people say I'm stuck up. I don't think I am. Actually, they don't. I think I'd die if anyone thought that. Anyway, I'm just trying to put it down without sticking myself to my little bit here. I'm also going to use on this here, once I pull it through to where I need it, I'm going to, actually I'll do that now. Just see where I'm going to stick them. I'm trying to get it in the middle where the side of the buckle is on the edges there. So what I'll do, I'll put one either side. Doing one at a time now, people. One at a time. It's good, you make these mistakes for a very good reason, so you can learn from them. And yeah, good to learn from your mistakes. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time to learn how to do things better. Keep making the same mistakes and obviously we don't learn. Oh yeah. It probably would have been simpler to glue it. It would have been just a bit of stick here and stick there and all right. Keep feeling my hands sticking to where I'll put them down. Get off. Get off. Okay, so got one there, got one there, got one there. I think I'll use this last one just here. Hope I'm not out of shot. No, not quite. Nearly. Just use that there. So it's not making the fabric all ugly and gluey, But having said that, you're probably not likely to get the dots off easily. All right, let's try it. Don't know if it's going to be. I just want to make sure it's kind of in the middle. Okay. You can still open that okay. Probably could have put one on that end and one on that end. But I've got them on the tape there, so that's not going anywhere for a moment. I think I'm going to put some more underneath. Giving these dots a bit of a workout. Okay, so just hold that one there, pop it underneath. Take it off, stick it down. Simples. Do the same to the top. Even if you need to reposition it, anything that you're putting on with the glue, oh my goodness, I'm stuck around here. Even if whatever you're using for the glue dots, if you need to reposition it, it's pretty simple to reposition. I'm just going to get under this, so I've got some more. Oh, don't get that one. No, I think I missed it and got the fabric which I wanted there anyway. So, haha. Make sure I get in the right spot this time. Okay. Just go underneath and press down a little bit. I'm liking it. That's there. I think I'm going to stick this down as well, just so that I can keep it in place where I want it. And I'm going to pop that. And maybe I'll just stick it there. So one more dot, please. Oh, who invented sticky dots? I did a good job. I'll just pop that onto there. Get off. Just so that it's going to stay in place. Right. Just want to fiddle around with this a little bit. Kind of liking it. Okay, now I'm going to go and iron that one on, and I'm going to come back. Okay, so I've ironed that on, and doesn't it look fantastic? I love it. I love this beautiful little flower. I think it's just the most stunning colours in that. It's not your typical embroidery type look. I did purchase it online from a couple of Adelaide people, Adelaide women, who have a wonderful shop on Etsy as well as their normal selling shop, and it's called Miss Rose Sister Violet. They've got some stunning things on their site, so go and check them out. I'm going to leave the link there because I've bought 2 lots of this now and I absolutely love it. You can put it on your jeans, you can put it on anything. I tend to use it mostly in my journals, and I use it sparingly because it isn't very cheap, and I get why it isn't, but yeah, I really love it. So I'll just give you a bit of a close-up of that crackle there. Like that. When you pull this around and you tie it up, you could tie it in a nice bow. That's going to look fantastic. I love that. I love the way it's turned out, even with the just this funky scrappy bits of material. I think I might need to work on this and put another dot under there. But generally speaking, that is going to be the front of my art journal. And tomorrow I'm going to try and do another video, and I'm going to start to decorate the inside. So I'm going to start with this page, and then I'm going to do that page, and so forth. So 1 page at a time, I'm going to start decorating through this journal. But what I'm going to do with this one, because it's got the lines, I think I'm going to use this. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic paper? I purchased this a few years ago from a shop online in Paris, and the person was only making 1 more lot for me, and this was it. So I've got a little bundle of this stuff, and I use it very sparingly because, you know, they're not making it anymore. So I think I'm going to cut a square to place over this area here, and I'm actually going to try and doody-dar it up a little bit with some kind of design on here. I've already painted on this paper. I painted a lady's, the Soul of the Rose picture. I did my own version. I've done a couple of versions of my own of that particular design of, I think it was a Rossetti painting. And I've done her on a table. I've painted her on a table rather, and I've painted her in one of my other journals with a piece of this paper in there, and it came out quite interesting. I might show you tomorrow when I start to design this particular piece here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a bit of a think and a pray about this overnight and just come up with something wonderful, I hope. And so that's where I'm going to start tomorrow with this particular journal. I think the first couple of pages really need to set the tone for the rest of the journal. So I'm going to be using this baby throughout the journal. But I also, in hinting earlier on in my first video regarding making this little journal base, I talked about my washi tape that I designed with this particular floral design here. I'll just move it over a little bit. Hopefully my camera won't die. So this I painted on. This is my painting surface and my craft surface. I painted that, and I thought I'd like to have some washi tape that's similar, and so I took photos of the design, and that's what I've come up with. So that's the wide one, and it's just beautiful. I'll just see if I can show you. I'll try and take a bit off. I love it. It's quite a good stick on it too. I sell this, but you can see the designs there on my table design. When I photographed it, I actually created the tape sizes myself. This obviously is a 1 inch, and the other one looks like a 1/2 inch. I'll show you that one in a minute. But when I put it up on my computer to put the sizes in, it turned out blue, and you can see that the background isn't blue. It's actually like I don't know, creams and mauves and all kinds of interesting hues. But the background of the tape, when I had my picture, put my picture on, it actually turned out with this blue tinge. And I didn't notice it until I had sent away to have the tape made up. And when I got the tape, I was absolutely horrified. I thought, oh my goodness, that's not meant to be blue. It's meant to be this colour. And I emailed them quickly and said, I'm not happy with it. I want you to redo it. And then I thought, you know what? It's not like everybody else's. It's not going to be your typical vintage type look, because it's got a little bit of a pale tinge blue background. And you know, over a couple of days it really grew on me, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep it, and next time I'll make sure that my background doesn't have any kind of tinge to it when I send it away to be created. So yeah, they're my 2 washi tapes, and I do sell those by the metre online. The reason I sell them by the metre is it's a little bit more expensive to sell the actual, to send them off rather, to post them off overseas particularly. So I wrap it around a lovely little card and I sell them by the metre. So yeah, just a bit of extra info. I think I'm going to put some of this in here anyway, just maybe not towards the front because I don't want it sort of interfering with the design. So perhaps in the middle. But equally, if you've got any washi tape, you might like to, how we put the centre in earlier, you could actually put washi down the centre on both sides. If you're not happy with the tape that you've already got there, you can cover it over completely. But I'm thinking I might put some of this in it somewhere along the line anyway. Just a thought. But I thought I'd just like to show you my washi. So yeah, I'm thinking the paper will go over here. And because whatever goes on this side, don't forget you've got this side. And so they don't have to be matchy-matchy, but just think about your design before you actually go ahead and do one. Just think, okay, how do I want these both to look, to work together, so that this one's not screaming against this one when you open them up to see the interesting pieces. Alrighty, so that's all I have for this particular video. But tomorrow I will be decorating the inside, and I hope you've just got a few tips, I suppose, from this one. Even these lovely buckles, you know, you can get them, you've got to look for them, and sometimes they can cost around $5 a pop. I think I paid that for these ones. But you know, if it's a decorative art piece, then it's going to be worth it in the long run. And I think that really just does work on there. And I even love the way that this is so different to the rest of it, but it sort of just seems to work for me. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Feel free to leave me comments, ask me questions. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. And yeah, I'll look forward to bringing another one for you tomorrow sometime, just to show you how I'm decorating the next pages. So I hope you tune in just to have a look. And yeah, thank you again for watching.